Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'd like it if you click down below to subscribe to my channel. Also hit the bell notification button so you don't miss each time that I upload a video. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to achieve a softer contour and highlight routine. That's typically what I've been trying to reach for. I know that you guys really do enjoy my contour and highlight routines, but I want to put options out there for my girls who want to have a softer contour. They don't want all the sculpt, they just want something to just warm up their face, something to just give them a little bit of structure, not too much, the minimal girls. We are also going to be doing a fun eye look, so if you want to see how this video goes down, carry on watching and let's get right into it.
Caught me at the right time, baby. Oh, I was at the end.
Okay guys, so I have just gotten my eyebrows out of the way. We're gonna start off with priming. I'm gonna use my Milk Hydro Grip primer, of course. I'm trying to look into getting another primer just to try it out because this has been in my stash for a really long time and I just want to try out another primer. This primer is good, but I just want to try out another primer. I'm just gonna blend this into my skin. Today I'm going to use my NARS Soft Matte in the shade Macao. I'm going to apply this onto my skin. This has a dropper, so I typically just apply it on like directly, and I go in with a small brush and I spread it out as evenly as possible. So I'm blending it out with my Morphe foundation brush. So typically for a softer contour and highlight routine, you want to go with a foundation that is as close to your skin tone as possible. I'm gonna go all over my face with a damp beauty blender just to take off any excesses and to do some extra blending if there's a need to. If I missed any portion, I just like to go over with a beauty blender just to blend everything out evenly. So for the next step, we're going to jump into highlighting. I typically like to use a concealer that is 2 to 3 shades lighter than my actual skin tone. I just stick to that. I typically don't use 2 concealers when I'm trying to get a softer contour and highlight. I just stick to using just 1 concealer, and you can just stick to doing the same thing. This one, you can actually use this sort of routine for every day. So I'm going to use my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer in the shade Caramel. This is as close to my skin tone and it's going to give me the highlights that I am looking for. So I'm going to use my brush and I'm just going to apply that under my eyes, just right here. I'm also going to apply that right here just to give me a little bit of a lift. I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit on the bridge of my nose, you know, the areas that you would typically highlight. I'm also going to apply a little bit on my mustache area as well as my chin. And we're gonna leave it at just that. We're gonna jump straight into blending out the product. I'm gonna start off with what's on my forehead. I'm using the same beauty blender that I used to blend out my foundation, you know, take off any excess product. I'm also gonna blend out what's on the bridge of my nose, and I'm gonna start off here on my mustache area and my chin. And then we're gonna move on to the area under the eye. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of my Born This Way concealer. This is very suitable for every day. As you can see, we've achieved the highlights that we want. So I'm going to go back in with my foundation brush and blend out the edges of the highlighted areas so that it doesn't look like there's a harsh line there. It just looks like blended into the skin. You want to do this to, you know, avoid harsh lines, like I said. So you just keep patting around with no extra products on the brush, by the way. You just want to use the brush you use to blend out your foundation, just to, you know, go around these edges, make sure it's nice, smooth and seamless. Yeah, now everything looks really nice. I love that this gives me a highlight, but it's kind of soft, which is the goal. So you want to stick to using a concealer. Typically one concealer is fine, 2-3 shades lighter than you, and then you're good to go. So I'm gonna go into setting the concealer. You know, typically if I'm doing like full glam or more of a sculpted look, I would use my contour stick at this time, but I'm not going to do cream contouring today, like I said. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, squeeze my beauty blender in a tissue so that I can take off any excess products as usual. So yeah, I'm going to just go over the areas that I applied concealer just to make sure there are no creases. I'm just going to tap to make sure that everything is nice and seamless. And then I'm gonna put my beauty blender into my setting powder, tap off any excesses at the back of my hand, and I'm going to start, you know, pushing that into my under eye. Typically everywhere that, you know, I apply the concealer, you definitely want to set your entire face when you apply cream or liquid products, because if you don't, it's gonna move around a lot and you're gonna have your face melting. So, you know, you definitely want to set it with a powder. Now you have your face nice and set. You can see the highlighted area and you can see that everywhere else is kind of toned down and kind of like your foundation color. So this is what you want to achieve, and it's especially important to go back in with your foundation brush after you finish blending out your highlights to, you know, smoothen out any harsh lines between the concealer and your foundation, because if you don't, when you set it, you're going to see a harsh line, and that's what you want to avoid at all costs. So the next step you want to take is to set your entire face. You want to use a powder that is very close to your skin tone. I like my pressed powder. This is my Sephora Micro Smooth powder in the shade Mahogany. This is as close to my skin tone as possible. So I'm just going to use my big powder brush just to lightly set my entire face. As you can see, everything is nice and set, and we are still maintaining the highlights. Now here's the catch. We are going to go ahead and apply bronzer. Yes, bronzer. This is where you achieve your sculpt. This is where you achieve your soft contour. We're going to go ahead and apply bronzer. The bronzer that I love to use is my Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade Coconutty. It's not too red, it's just the right shade for me. If you can go ahead and use your whatever bronzer you have at hand at that point in time, you can just use that. This time around, I'm going to be applying a bronzer with a brush that's gonna give me a little bit more structure. If you have a brush like this is perfect. It's going to give you the amount of structure that you need. You can also use your blush brush from Real Techniques to apply that, which is also going to give you a little bit of structure. I definitely prefer this one. This is going to be very precise. So we are getting a sculpt by applying a little bit less product and getting a little bit of a softer sculpt, but not too much. I hope I'm not just spewing words at this point. Anyways, I'm going to use my E4 brush and I'm going to dip it into my pan. I'm going to just apply that here. I'm gonna show you guys the difference from one side. I'm also going to be applying that onto my jawline area, you know, typically where you would apply your cream contour, you know. So we are doing powder contour with bronzer today. I usually do this for most of my clients who like come in for walk-ins, so that if they want like something subtle, you can just do that very quickly for them. So as you can see, this side has a little bit more structure than this side. You still have the highlights there because we were maintaining what we were doing. This is very soft and very simple, very suitable for every day. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply onto this side of my face as well. Remember to be light-handed. You don't want to dip and swirl. You just want to tap and apply. This brush provides more structure. That's why, you know, I love it. And there you have it. You have your nice sculpt going on. It looks like you applied bronzer, cream contour and then bronzer, but in reality you just use the bronzer. So I'm going to go ahead and contour my nose as well with the same bronzer, just the sides of the bridge of my nose as usual. We are going to do a little bit of some cleaning up. I'm going to go ahead and use my setting powder. By cleaning up, I'm going to start with the sides of the bridge of my nose just to make sure that the shadows or the contour we created there is seamless. So I'm going to use my powder and my sponge. It's going to clean the sides of the bridge of my nose. Mind you, you can skip this step if you don't want to bake. You want to go back in with your brush and clean up. You can always skip this step if you're doing everyday makeup, or if you have dry skin. If you have mature skin, you can just skip this step. But I'm going to do a little bit of reverse contouring to just enhance the sculpts that we created with the bronzer. This is especially necessary if you want a soft contour but you also want it to look snatched. So you're going to put a little bit of powder here, like so. The same on the other side. You can skip this. I'm just baking my smile lines because I have smile lines. Anyways, this is where you'd want to, you know, stop, and this is how to achieve the soft contour if you're looking for it. Soft contour and highlights. I feel like this is so much softer, this is so much simpler, this is so suitable for every day. So yeah, I'm going to, you know, do my eyebrows as usual. For eyeshadow, when I tell you guys, I am obsessing over this palette. I am not joking. I can't put it down. I just really love the colors in it. So I'm going to be creating a look. We're going to just do one color eyeshadow, which is super simple. I already primed my eyelids a while earlier. I'm going to use the shade Afrobeat, this shade right here. It's a very interesting shade. I just love it. It's like a very light blue and it's really pretty as usual, very pigmented. I'm just going to stamp this all over my eyelid. Really love this color, really love this color. So I'm gonna go back in with the same color. I'm gonna use a fluffier brush. Just going to tap into it and I'm gonna start off in my crease. You can typically do this technique with any matte color of your choice. You just want to be very light-handed with what you put in your crease and, you know, heavy-handed with what you put on the eyelid. And I'm just going to, you know, wing it out slightly. And it just looks blown out. It's just really pretty. I love the color. It's so nice. And that's it for this eye look. You just need to blow out the color by blending it out. I'm going to go ahead and create a tiny wing with my liquid eyeliner.
I'm going to go back in with the same color and I'm going to smoke out my lower lash line with that. So that's about it for this eye look. I'm going to go ahead and dust off any excess powder and any fallouts from my under eye. So what you want to do next is to go in with blush. That's if you want to apply blush. By all means, you can go ahead and stop here, set your face, apply a lip color, and you are good to go. But I'm extra, so I'm going to be applying a little bit of blush. So I'm going to use my Bella blusher from Juvia's Place. I'm going to use my blush brush from Real Techniques. I'm going to go ahead and apply that onto the apples of my cheeks. So in between my highlight and my bronzer, I'm going to put blush over there, and it just ties the entire look together. So I'm going to go ahead and set my face with my Pixie makeup fixing mist. While my setting spray is setting, I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of mascara onto my lower lash line. I'm also going to apply a little bit of brow gel. I'm going to go ahead and apply highlighter onto the typical areas that I would. I'm going to be applying that onto the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose as well. And I'm going to apply a little bit on my brow bone, as well as the high point of my cheekbones, which is this area right here. I'm also going to put a little bit of highlighter in my inner corners just to open up my eyes a little bit. For my lips, I'm gonna do a nude lip combo. I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty Stunner Lip Paint in the shade Unveil. Alright loves, so this brings us to the end of the video. I really do love the eye look. I was just playing around with some colors and I just love how it turned out. I used just one color for the eyes. Can you believe it? And you can just apply the technique I use with every eye look that you're going for. If you want to use just one matte eye color, you can just put a lot more on the lid and blend it out into the crease, but just make sure that you are really light-handed with what you put in the crease, and it's just gonna give you this really nice gradient going on. And as you can see, the face is sitting. It's really sitting. I really enjoyed creating this look. I hope you guys did as well. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you learned something. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in my next one. Take care guys. Bye.